Good afternoon, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro, about to give you a 10-minute extended weather forecast, and we are starting off in the tropics because we have a big update. We have the first named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Tropical storm Andrea has formed. The 10 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center has detected that it's got the organization required to be considered a tropical storm, and got the wind speed, so it jumped up above 39-mile-an-hour winds, now 40, and it moves to the east-northeast right now at 17 miles an hour. But here's the thing, it's barely detectable on infrared satellite imagery, so that's good. Another good thing is that it is not interacting with any land. It is a fish storm completely, about 1,000 miles east of Bermuda. And another good thing, it is going to completely fall apart here within the next few hours. It's moving into an environment that's very unfavorable to sustain the very little development it has, certainly not going to strengthen it, and expected to become a remnant low by tomorrow morning. I actually think it's going to become a remnant low by tonight. I don't think it stands a chance. But it is officially the first named storm of the season. Tropical Storm Andrea now checked off the list. Up next, Barry, then Chantal, Dexter, followed by Aaron, Fernand, and Gabrielle. So why is it going to fall apart? Why am I so confident in that? Well, look at where it's sitting right now in the open Atlantic. And if we get a closer look at what it's got to battle, it's got a ton of wind shear. So there's this big area of high pressure. You probably heard of the Bermuda High. It's this area of very hot air that develops during the summer months and create some pretty strong clockwise flow. And because this tropical storm falls directly in the path of that high wind shear, well, it has a good probability of being torn apart by that wind. Remember, tropical systems need the winds to be fairly calm aloft so that they can build in the vertical. If there's strong wind disrupting that vertical development, then it falls apart. Not to mention, tropical systems also need a moisture source, which they are lacking right now. This time of year, we get the help of some Saharan dust that comes off the west coast of Africa, and we are continuing to see good plumes of dust trekking through the Atlantic basin for today, tomorrow, even through your Friday. So that should keep us nice and quiet for now. Locally, we've got some action on radar. Most of the activity, though, has been for our coastal counties. So Matagorda, Brazoria has seen a couple of showers. Galveston has seen a little bit of shower activity. Right now, Brookshire seeing maybe just cloud cover. I think that little rain shower is starting to die down. Let's give you a closer look at some of the rain, though, that's developing closer to Galveston. So even up 288 Lockridge, you're seeing some rain right now. Ooh, and then Galveston also. I'm going to take you back there really quick. Galveston has been seeing just a little bit of moisture moving into the island. Oh, but even that one is starting to fizzle out. I do think most of the rain is going to pick up the pace in a couple of hours. So if you're asking about when can we expect rain, say in Houston proper, I don't think that's going to be until maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're in Bay City, though, not only are you getting hit with a downpour, you also have a little bit of lightning. Elsewhere, it looks pretty calm. Look, downtown looks fine. Edo looks fine. Mount Bellevue, it is a quiet start to the afternoon. High temperatures today are going to be pretty mild, a couple degrees below normal, stays below normal tomorrow too. And then we start to see temperatures rise up a little bit. Average for this time of year should be the low 90s. We're going to be tracking closer and closer towards the mid and upper 90s for 4th of July. That is a big interest time frame. So where is it going to be pretty toasty? Along the eastern seaboard from New York down to Florida. You'll also be pretty warm if you're spending it in the Pacific Northwest into Montana. Cooler temperatures for New Mexico, West Texas, and H-Town will be on the toasty side too. Not to mention some pretty decent chances for some showers, though I think in Houston we're not going to see a ton of rain for the 4th of July. So that is a good outlook for us. A little bit excess rain for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then another bullseye of rain for Arizona into New Mexico. We are seeing our fair share of rain right now, though. 60% chance for storms this afternoon. We match that rain chance again for tomorrow. For a little context, the rain that we had yesterday was a 60%. So we did get some downpours. We got some pretty loud thunder out there too, flashes of lightning. So that's what you can expect again for today. Staying unsettled with at least a 50% chance for storms even as we go into our Thursday. But just in time for the weekend to make your outdoor plans, rain chances drop back down. 20% for your Friday and your Saturday. So that's good news there. Have a check of temperatures right now. Bush Intercontinental Airport, air temperature of 91 degrees, but a heat index of 98. What's the heat index? It's just what it feels like on your skin when you factor not just the heat, but the humidity. So both of those in tandem feel like the century mark for Sugar Land. Feels like 100 degrees in Conroe right now. And in Galveston, feels like 104. Here's a beautiful shot of Pleasure Pier right now. You can see the palm trees are moving nicely. It's a good breeze, so maybe that gives you a little relief. But again, it's a humid breeze. And it is kicking up the waves a little bit, 2 to 3 feet for today. The wind out of the southeast at 15 miles an hour, and there is a moderate rip current risk. So keep that in mind if you are going down the Gulf Freeway to enjoy this beautiful Tuesday with your family, if the kiddos, of course, are wanting to have a nice little beach day since they're off school. Here's a look again at radar. So most of the activity starting to fill in from the Gulf. We got a lone little shower there for the bay. So maybe boaters in Kima, something to keep in mind. Maybe you want to pack it in today and not go out on the water. You'll notice the biggest time frame for shower development, 2 to 6 o'clock. So at 2, I think we will see more development in Harris County. So the loop and the Beltway, if you are commuting up the North Freeway, the Katy Freeway, headed down 5969, just look out for a little bit of a slower trek because that is when showers are going to pick up the pace. And I think by 6, you'll still be looking at a few scattered downpours across the area, but I think the coverage starts to dry off. That doesn't mean you're not going to see rain though at 6 o'clock. And I say that because I looked at radar before I went on my run yesterday and everything was quieting down and boom, a lone little shower right where I was running. So you got to keep an eye on radar. The good thing is it's a good idea to look out for radar too, not just for the rain, but to check if there's lightning. I would not have been running if there was lightning. So lucky for us, we will have a nice quiet end to our Tuesday. And it's not too hot, to be honest. I mean, low 90s, we'll take that, especially this time of year. 92 degrees, that will be your high temperature at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not that hot because the big dome of high pressure, the heat ridge, is actually to our north and east. And that is where we are looking at some serious heat. I mean, record-breaking heat at that. So temperatures for DC, for Philly, for New York are going to be at or really close to the century mark, even a few degrees above that possible. Boston getting up to 100 degrees too. And that is not the kind of heat that they're used to. So because of that, they're looking to break records. They're also under an extreme heat warning. So not only do they deal with air temperatures that are at 100 degrees, but the heat index, so the humidity value that factors into that as well, is going to be at around 107. So they are certainly keeping a close eye on the temperature story there. Our temperature story is not bad. I mean, I'll take it. In fact, these rain chances aren't too bad either because it does bring some rain-cooled air. Whenever we get the showers, the rain coming down evaporates before reaching the ground, some of that, and evaporation is a cooling mechanism. So it actually makes it feel much more bearable this time of year. So some scattered storms this afternoon. Tomorrow's pretty much a carbon copy of what we're going to see today. We'll start off in the mid-70s, climb up to the low 90s. That continues through your Thursday. And then as we head into our Friday, that's when the storms become a little bit more isolated and the heat ramps up just a little bit. Pride Parade on Saturday looks good. You'll notice rain chances still very low at 20%. And then we turn a bit more unsettled as we head into next week. So just plan on having your umbrella with you. Afternoon storms are pretty typical. This time of year we get the heat and the humidity, and then when we get the sea breeze in the afternoon, well, all that moisture has got to go somewhere, and so it does go in our backyards, which is actually pretty good for the drought monitor. We're looking nice and comfortable with our rain totals so far for this year. Okay, Keep in mind, we have storms this afternoon, so if you haven't downloaded the KHOU app, now is a good time to do so. You can have a look at radar and plan the rest of your day that way. Thanks so much. We will see you back here again tomorrow.